Hey guys, Sean Zine, the Connection Machine, aka the Insurance Doctor. This is Facebook number 17 on the year. I wanted to first start off by thanking those that tune in every single time we go live because it's important that you are growing as well. I want to give you content that will benefit you and help you grow your business. So we have Christian Loran that will be joining us in a few minutes. I want to just kind of thank those that jump on because without you, we can't have these lives. We can't educate. So it's important that we get involved. If you are watching, where are you watching from? What location? Type it in the comments below. Make sure you are hitting the like, the love, the share button. My man Jeremy Felder, what's going on? The Shark Cat investor, definitely someone you guys all got to connect with. I just saw Antonio jump on and Jennifer Pickett and Nicholas. I appreciate my sister Christy, Francesca. Make sure you are putting in the comments where you're watching the live from so that we can make sure that we give you some props. Also, again, throughout our live, we'll stop and take the questions you might have. Antonio, what's up? Vinny, how are you? Great to see you. I see you're back in the game. That's awesome. I'm glad you're doing well. I have Christian Loran. I'm gonna have jump on in a few minutes. I'm gonna actually send out the request right now. Bear with me. I'm gonna send this over. All right, the invite was sent over, and I like to say a couple of you jumping on here. Ramsey, how are you? I have to see you. I haven't seen you in a little while. Heather, thanks so much for joining. And Jonathan, I have the invite for Christian Loran with Cinema Flight, and you guys are going to be with a treat tonight learning about how to help market your business utilizing different types of platforms that we like to share with our viewers. Michelina, how are you? Thanks so much for joining, the staging guru. Thanks so much for sharing, your knowledge. I see your lives. I appreciate you tuning in. And Jonathan, thanks so much. Love to get to know you, find out how we can help each other grow. Don't forget to hit that that like button, the love button, the wow button throughout the live. And also please hit that share button so we can have as much exposure to the ones that are out there. We can help them grow their business. I have Christian, let me just make a message to him. I sent invite. I'm going to bring him on. Give me 1 second. Christian, you're watching. Make sure you accept the invite I sent to you so that we can grab you onto the screen. I'm wondering if you are on an iPad watching, if we're able to get you on here. If it might be on a phone, so this would be something different to try if you are on an iPad, if it works. So this is something new to me. Thank you so much, Vinny, for sharing. I appreciate you. Hello, Haiti. How are you? Thanks for joining. We are in for a treat tonight when we get him on, Christian Loran with Cinema Flight. He is one that is helping me develop the website Connection Machine. I'm going to resend it to him. Hold on 1 second. It was sent over to you. I'm on Facebook app. Don't see the notification. I'm wondering if you're on the app, if it will pull it through. Are you on an iPhone? Let's see. iPhone? Always trying different things, trying to mix it up. Sheena, thanks so much for joining. Hello, Stuart. How are you? Thanks so much for joining on an iPad. See if you're on an iPhone. Let's go. Let me just double check. Bear with me. I'm messaging offline with him. And if you have questions about building your business through marketing with social media, marketing through websites, funnels, using video, these are all opportunities for you to learn and grow and pick our brains of what we're doing to make our business happen. And business you have to market to develop leads. And a lot of you don't develop leads. And it's important that you might be servicing current business, but if you're not out there networking or making your phone ring, that's going to be a problem. So you always got to make sure you are taking the next steps. You're happy that you have the business, but you also need to continue to generate leads. Santina, thanks for joining. Rich Calvert, my man, what's up? Hey, Nicole, thanks so much for joining. And Haiti, if I didn't mention you earlier, if you are watching, please in the comments put your location, where you're watching from. Also hit that like, love, wow, and the share button so I can make sure I help any of your friends that are in your network, in your, I like to call audience, because those that are in your audience that you're trying to help, they need help. We all need help. We're having a little technical difficulties on one end. We'll get there. If you're listening to me, is it clear? I know using a headset's important for me. Let's try it. Headset's important because it gives you more clarity and it picks up a lot of reverberation on the other end. But this is my 17th Facebook Live. A lot of you are afraid to get in front of the camera and afraid to share your knowledge to the people, because I live in abundance, and if you are living in abundance, there's enough business to go around. So that's why it's important to share information. Don't keep it a secret. Give me 1 second. Jump on. It's important to share your information, because if you have people in your office, they're looking up to you. You might want to help them grow. And maybe if you're in different types of real estate offices, you might get an override on other agents as well. I don't know what your setup is, but it's important to always grow, always help others. People first, profit second, because it's key. It's key to make sure that everyone is going to. There's Christian. Let's see if we can get this happening. I'm going to send you the invite again. I'm going to see if I can pull you on now. Approved you. So we're going to jump on. Robert, what's going on, my man? Thanks so much for joining. I appreciate you and everyone that jumps on, because without you, I cannot, help many of you grow your business. I try, my friend, I try. There's always opportunities, and the more that I can help others grow, the more I can grow. That's really the name of the game. And it's not about just selling you. I'm hoping you are watching this and you will gain lots of knowledge, lots of good nuggets of information that you can use and help your business grow. We'll see if Christian can jump on here. We're adding him. Always something. That's why if you are and haven't been on the connectionmachine.biz, it's time you have. And if you haven't checked out Connection Machine, the YouTube channel, I think he's jumping. There he is.
Hey, how's it going, Sean?
What's going on, Christian?
It's going good.
Thanks for joining, brother. I know we had little issues. You were trying with the iPad, right? Is that what you were trying to get on before?
I'm on with the iPad. It's working
so it is
now.
Okay.
Yep, just minor technical difficulties.
Hey, that's what happens. You got to try different things to make it happen. So we, that's the first time. I didn't know if we could do it on an iPad. So that's good to know. So
it's an older iPad, and it
still works.
Still working.
And you have a headset that actually works on that iPad. I know the iPads, they keep changing the different gadgets, right? Different things they plug into.
My issue, I was just trying to have my wife find the dongle.
What's that?
The little thing that iPhone manufactured, so that if you lose it, now you got to buy a piece all the time. But yeah, you can't plug regular headphones in. So
nope. And I always try to plug into to listen to music. You can't even do that without that whatever dongle you just said. It sounds like you're some kind of made up word. But yeah, it's definitely something add-ons they always have. But Christian, I want to give you some time right now just to share with the audience. You're with Cinema Flight. Talk about how long you've been around and what you're interested in helping others grow their business, and how your business is very important for them today.
So the name of my company is Cinema Flight. We've been in business for the past 8 years, and essentially what we provide is full service marketing solutions for small businesses to Fortune 500 companies. And we do everything from website design, graphic design, helping you build your brand, graphics, video production, assistance with social media marketing. Basically, we try to meet with businesses and learn, what it is that they're doing right now, where they want to be in the future, and then try to put together a plan that doesn't just necessarily focus on one thing. Since we're a full service agency, our goal is to put together a full service marketing plan, which typically ends up encompassing a multitude of things. We work with businesses that are just starting out or businesses that have been established, but now it's time for a revamp. Things, maybe their website looks stale, or they haven't had someone in house that has introduced them to social media to be doing things like what we're doing right now. So I basically just try to help businesses create a foundation for their business, and that foundation is typically a very good looking mobile friendly website,
Hmm.
and then creating content that is used on that website and then dispersed across social media and etc. And the goal is to just have a constant flow, like with what you do, Sean, of constantly creating engaging content and releasing helpful tips and etc. to your demographic of clients. And then by doing that, it's a lot more of an effective route of marketing than taking the traditional sales approach and kind of cold calling people. The connections that get created like this are a lot warmer. So I try helping businesses that are not familiar with this type of marketing and what you have access to for free
Hmm.
to learn how to start leveraging it and just incorporate it with their traditional style of marketing with what they've already been doing, but just bringing things into the future, helping them understand how they could leverage video and, kind of tying all the pieces together.
No, I like that. You actually sit down and you speak with the client and actually have a conversation to find out what their needs are, not just a cookie cutter. Let's go on to a certain website and purchase a website that's a cookie cutter. You could do it yourself, and you're actually taking some time and actually thinking and hearing what the client wants and also needs, and then you have that conversation to figure things out for them. Because maybe video is not for somebody, but having a
Exactly.
website might be important. Having some social media techniques might be important to generate their leads.
Exactly.
And
Um,
mhm.
I was going to say, like, when I sit down with people, I try to go above and beyond with trying to provide value. Like, when I sit down with clients, um, with what I do and the fact that I have a team and I can put together things relatively quickly, and it's not necessarily like I'm selling an item, I'm selling a service, and it's a creative service. So I typically go above and beyond. And let's say I'm working with you and you're interested in video marketing or a website or a series of things, but you're not ready to take the next step. I typically put together a free demo. I'll make a demo website. I'll add your logo. I'll create it so that it matches, your needs and your industry type. And I spend the time. I have my team spend a couple hours. But then this way, when I send a proposal to someone, it's basically like if you do decide to work with us, a portion of the work is already done. But
Yep.
if you're on the edge, there's a lot of website companies, video production companies, and etc., where you don't know what you're going to get until you work with them. So I just try to kind of add transparency to what I do. And then even if they don't work with me, I tell them you can still keep it or use it, as long as it's not the website because it's on a demo domain, but any other creative asset. I mean, the same thing with you. Like
Hmm.
when we first started working together, I did the same type of approach to try and, get my foot in the door with you and look at where we're at now.
Right. I mean, we continue to grow. We've been to different events together. We hold our own, our connection machine, the real estate mixer every month, and a lot of things are growing because of social media. And our markets are similar, and that's why I think it really works well for what we do. Is we work in the real estate space. So anyone that's a real estate agent, a mortgage professional, financial advisor, anyone that's in a trade should be speaking to you, because if they don't have that presence online that we're at right now and how I've built organically, you can actually spend a few dollars and actually help them promote themselves. And I can you talk about some about the video collaborations that you've been doing to help real estate agents get to a different level?
So, I mean, when it comes to real estate in general, what I've seen is that there's a lack of quality marketing. Like
Hmm.
there's I think you were at yeah, you were at the event with Matt Mironoff. Do you
Yep.
remember, if I'm not mistaken, there was like a crazy statistic that they said. I'm not sure if you remember it, but I think it was 95% of agents, either nationwide or I don't know if it was specific to the state of New Jersey, make $25,000 a year or less
Yep.
annually. I think that that is an interesting statistic to think about, but the more that I've thought about it, I feel it might be true, or at least hold some weight, because over the past 8 years, I've worked with countless offices, agents, brokerages, from commercial to residential, luxury, low end, etc. But I'm a marketing company. I'm not a realtor, so I'm on the
Right.
outside seeing, what agents are doing, and I ask questions. I learn. Like, once again, I'm not a realtor. I'm just a marketing company. And in working with agents over the past 8 years, what I've come across is that really it's not like a secret as to what brings the top performing agents success. Typically, it's a similar framework with minor differences, but it's a supreme focus on quality marketing and consistency. I've worked with agents that sell 5 listings a year, and then agents that sell over 70 listings,
Right.
70 listings as an individual agent. Okay. Uh, and I ask questions. I try to learn as much as I can in regards to how they got to their level of success. And what I feel the framework is having a good website that serves as the backbone.
Hmm.
Also, not relying on a templated website from your office because you don't have a lot of control with it. When you're a realtor, you want to be building your own brand. If you look at some of these top producers, they're not even though they may work for Remax, Coldwell Banker, or a certain franchise, really what they're marketing is themselves, and they're building their own personal brand. In regards to video and stuff like that, the agents that aren't using video are greatly missing out. Whether it
Oh
be
yeah.
to showcase a property, with a video tour or a drone or etc. Like, that's one aspect. Another aspect that I try to heavily promote is getting a review, because there's a lot of agents where if you try to work with them, or let's say I was a prospective seller and I've already sold a property once and went through the runaround. I'm going to ask, well, what are you going to do to help me sell my property? And a lot of agents, they have a very basic response. Whereas these top producing agents, they have a response where they have a marketing plan. There's a reason why, if you work with them, why they're worth what they're worth.
Right.
Like, what I hear with agents now is that there's some talk of issues with, let's say, sources where you can list your property for a very low commission rate.
Hmm.
However, really, that all that's being done is the property is being listed. There's not a heavy focus on marketing. So the agents that know how to speak to the value of what they do as an agent, and that they're going to be providing quality marketing for a listing, they typically never have an issue if someone is like, oh, I saw Purple Bricks or this other company that said that they'll list something for 2% or etc. The agents that charge in New Jersey 6% or etc., it's becoming harder to justify why you should charge what you're worth if all you're doing is adding a listing to the MLS or sending out some mailers or etc. When you have agents that may not be charging 6%, but they're not as low as some of those other things, but they're providing a full solution when it comes to marketing the property.
Hmm.
So um, I feel that video is extremely important for realtors, whether they're using it to showcase a listing or just to grow their own personal brand so people know who they are, see what they do. And if you sell something, showcase it, because how do I know that you're as active as you say that you are? Like, if you create a website, you have a case studies page, and every single time you sell a property, you should showcase it. Not everyone will agree to being on video, but for the ones that do agree on to be on video, look at, with you, Sean, how on the site, how we're creating that page where all the videos are going to be listed out.
Hmm.
I'm sure that that adds a lot of value to how you promote yourself. It puts proof in the pudding that, you know, when you say that you create all these connections and that you collaborate with people, there's the videos, there's the proof in it. So I feel the same thing is applicable to realtors, where if you do work, showcase it, make sure you capture it, because it's only going to help you further market what you do. And there's a lot of realtors that they don't proactively market their past sales and the successes. And I feel that that will help drive a lot more future clients.
No, 100%. And video is where it's at. And real estate, if you're not doing video in the next year or two, they're going to be in trouble. And it's something that you're right. You gotta have a case study. But I see some of these real estate agents, or one, they're secret agents. They don't ever return a phone call when I call them. If you're going to have a phone number, hopefully you answer it from time to time, because it's going to cause some problems. But the videos I see on some people's pages, it's just listing, listing, listing all the way down. There's no tips for buyers or sellers or building their brand. It's
You
all
look at a
about
top,
me, me, me. That's all it is.
yep.
I mean,
Now, on the flip
that's not good.
side, if you look at a top producers page, like just to give you an example of like some of the people that I work with, if you were to go to look at their social media page, there's going to be videos and tours of the past listings, but there's also videos of town tours where they're not even selling a property. They're
Yep.
just going around the town. They're showcasing that they're an agent from that area, but they know their shit. They know
Yes.
every aspect of the town, and they're bringing you on a tour in advance. They're not showcasing properties, so they took time, out of their day to either hire a company to produce a tour, or they're doing it themselves. They're going to businesses. Like, imagine if you approach a restaurant or any local business that is going to make a person moving to that town, make it that more enticing for them. Do a Facebook Live video with them.
Huge
Get them,
value.
get
Right.
get them, and not only do a Facebook Live video with them, but I've worked with agents where they approach businesses and they say, "Listen, we're making a town tour. We're going to use this with all of our listings. If you'd like to have your business to have a spot, we're going to charge this if you want to have a spot. Or if you have the social media person in house, or if you got your phone, do a Facebook Live video right now with me, the agent. Give us a quick little, pitch to your customers.
Yep.
We're not going to charge you for your spot in the video, but now you can create like a level of incentive to get other businesses to go live on their page and talk about your services and etc. So like that's one aspect. I mean, some of these guys, they're at a point where they have the money to be paying for radio ads and billboards and etc. But you can get to that point by doing a lot of things that don't cost a lot of money, or technically are free, but just requires consistency. So
Yeah.
just turning off this screen in the background. But yeah, just showcasing, the proof in what you do, but also not just focusing on selling properties, but also if you can create a strategic relationship with another company so that if you as a realtor can add an additional level of support to a client, like for example, I work with a few agents aside from the real estate marketing work we do. I work with a bunch of other industries and companies. One company I work with is a credit repair company.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been able to link up realtors with this credit repair company so that they can, even if they have a client and they got approved, and let's say their score was 640, they can get a house. But a lot of agents may not think of, what if I took the extra step, even maybe I don't have access to this type of service in my office, but to create a relationship with a company.
There's a new droners.io lead.
Sorry about that. I have my email set up where it's a voice recording of myself saying that there's a lead, but it ends with me cursing. It's pretty funny. But I just lost my train of thought now. What was I saying?
You were with the. Yeah, that threw me off though. I'm thrown off. I don't even know. But
I think I was talking about basically all the stuff that a top producing agent does to differentiate themselves. Now I remember. I was talking about how we have relationships. We do marketing for another credit repair company.
Stuff. Yeah.
A lot of realtors have never thought about, even if your client got approved, imagine if you took the extra step to have a strategic relationship, if your company that you work with doesn't already provide this in-house, to be able to tell someone, hey, listen, I've got a relationship with a company. You can get a free credit repair consultation.
Mm-hmm.
And even though your score is good, imagine if we increased your score by 40 points in the next 3 months, and we put the notion of searching for a house on hold for a little bit, because maybe you're not in an immediate rush. But given the fact that if they do help you out and your credit score is increased, 40 points over the life of a loan could be $40,000.
Easily,
so,
right.
There's a lot of agents where, aside from marketing listings, they're putting out content like this, where they're talking about subjects of how you can improve your credit, how things you can do, helpful tips and tricks, so that when you are ready to make a purchase, that you're better prepared. And also it just showcases that you as a realtor, that you're going above and beyond. You're taking time to talk about subjects that you don't necessarily need to talk about. You are creating relationships with other businesses to try and get free referrals or incentives or et cetera, to just better help your client. And in the end, if you're a realtor and you just help someone fix their score, now they've got more buying power. And also they're going to have a better rate on whatever property it is that they want to go after. So to talk about adding value and differentiating, that's another thing. I feel that there's a lot of realtors where they are just a realtor. That's it. They're not necessarily treating it like a business and doing whatever they can to compete, because when you think about it, what happens when you go to any real estate website and you go to the directory? There's a list from A to Z. How am I going to know who I should work with or what differentiates someone? Whereas the ones that are actually doing proactive marketing, you might be able to do a Google search and their website pops up, not a templated site or things that they're relying on that are, provided for a monthly rate from the office. Some things work, but there are some things that you need to focus on a little bit more and internalize.
And so we pause for a moment. Those jumping on, could you put in the comments where you're watching us from? Hit that like button, the love button, the wow button, and the share button. I see like Ronnie Glum jumped on. I haven't spoken to him in a while. I see Shirley, Tom, Jeff Greenberg, Brian Ackerman, and Elisa. We appreciate you guys jumping on. Now, some value, Chris. What's important in your opinion? Is it the camera? Is it lighting? Or is it the microphone that's most important when you're doing video?
For something like this, like what we're doing right now, honestly, I wouldn't necessarily stress on, as long as you have a camera that films in HD and you've got headphones like this for a live stream, that's okay. When it comes to doing business videos, whether it be a video to promote your company or you're doing a tour for a listing, then I recommend that, if you want to invest, get a DSLR camera. You could do photos and video with it. You can buy a stabilized camera for if you want to do tours or etc. But basically, like when it comes to photography, don't use an iPhone unless literally you have to and there's no other option. But when it comes to photos, like my company, we have a partnership with Zillow. And in order for us to maintain the partnership, we have to have a certain level of quality of the photos that we do for people and also the videos that we produce for people. And literally there are statistics provided by these big companies, Zillow, Realtor.com, etc., where properties that have images where you could tell that they were taken by a phone or by not so good of a photographer, it has an impact. Whereas if you look at a property and it's got very, very quality images that stand out and it looks engaging. And then if there's a video to go along with it, who do you think is going to be more interested in the listing? The crappy listing that doesn't look good? I've even been hired by realtors that have either shot the property themselves and then realized this is not working out, or they worked with another company, but then they didn't like what they got. But then once you update the photos and you have quality photos, and if you add a video takes it to a whole nother level. It was about, I think, 3 years ago that we got the partnership with Zillow, and basically it allows us, when we work with agents, that we can add a branded video to the front of the listing itself, whereas a typical agent, they can't. You can use the Zillow app, but you record a video on your phone and that's what you're uploading, so it looks shitty. Whereas we're able to add the branded with an animation, your contact info, and then the full stabilized tour with the drone shots and everything to the front of the Zillow listing. And it's proven to drive additional traffic. You can even filter on Zillow. There are people who browse, they only want to see properties that have video tours. So just speaking to the value of video of what you mentioned, I can envision things getting to a point where there has to be a video tour to accompany something, but yeah, in regards to realtors, I recommend, if you're looking to purchase something where you could do it yourself, send me a message and if you reach out to me on Facebook, I'll give you a list of some equipment that you could use. However, as with anything and everything, there's a learning curve.
Yep.
So it's not like you buy this stuff and then your images are going to come out like cinema flight images, or if you buy this camera that your videos are going to look like the stuff that we produce. You have to, I could point you in the right direction of all the stuff of how you could try and train yourself and learn, or 8 out of 10 times agents find it to just be easier to leverage someone that's quick and efficient at getting it done. We can go to a property and photograph it in less than an hour, film video, drone shots, etc., and then within a business day have everything delivered to you, a video edited and ready to go, and then within 48 hours it's syndicated and up on Zillow.
I think that's awesome. And I think if you're selling property, you have to have, that's your product. So you have to have great pictures, you got to have great video, you have to have, that's what's selling your properties on a website, on Zillow, wherever it's at. I think, and you could probably correct me too, if you're going to build your brand, just being consistent and using your iPhone, using your Samsung, whatever it is to drop content every day, that's what can help build a brand. But if you're selling property, that's where you need someone that's a professional that can get those great shots, get the drone shots, get the, what is that, the Matterport, the 3D thing that goes on? Is that what that is?
We do photography, drone shots, the 3D tours, the video walkthroughs, and build property websites. But yeah, everything to most effectively showcase the property. And when you utilize these things, whether it be a multi-million-dollar listing or a low-end listing, I feel it's really irrelevant because it helps sell things quicker.
And when you've been in these properties that you're filming, do you see, and I know Michelina Kurt was on just a little bit ago. I'm not sure if she's still on. If you're on, Michelina, please give it a little thumbs up. Is it better to film homes that are empty, or should they be staged?
They should be staged. And I actually refer people to Michelina's page, her Facebook page, all the time. There are agents who will come across a vacant listing or a property that has nothing in it, depending on what the situation is. And it all depends on what the agent's budget is, because sometimes all that they can necessarily invest in is photography. But if they have more of a budget, there's a couple things that I recommend. Staging is definitely a recommendation, but another thing that we do is virtual staging. So basically, if you have an empty space, we do the photography, and then you just tell us, hey, place in a dining room table, add curtains to the window, and etc. And we do everything on the computer in 3D. It looks like it's real, but it's not. So it's a lower cost alternative as opposed to staging the property. But my recommendation is, I've heard people talk that they had virtual staging done and it worked, or they had it done, but then people saw it online. They didn't realize it was a virtually staged image. It drew them to the property, and then they get there and it's empty. So then it kind of throws them off. So my recommendation would be, if it's possible, do light staging. If it's an empty, like if it's a completely vacant empty listing, it definitely can help, because not only does it help with marketing the property initially, but you got to think about what's going through people's heads when they get into the listing and they're actually walking around. Because a common thing that a lot of realtors say is that even though we may understand or have the visual in our head of the value, people may walk in and it's a blank slate, and then they completely lose interest and they're not able to visualize in their head where things are going to go or how it would look. So there is definitely a substantial value to staging.
And we started and we talked about how, there's like 95% of agents making $20,000, $25,000 a year. I know Jim Flanagan down in Toms River, he was on early as well as a live, because he always does lives on Monday, never miss a Monday. But 3.95 transactions was an average for agents in Ocean County. Almost just 4 deals a year.
Yep.
And so they're not going to talk about staging. They're not going to talk about doing video. They're not going to talk about doing photography. So those are the people, if you want to grow your business, you need to get to 10 to 12. That's one a month. Doing one a month, you're definitely going to be able to, put more money in your pocket and have some more opportunities. I have a couple of people like Jeremy Felder was on earlier. Wojtek There's a friend of mine, and I think you might have met him at the last event.
I met him at the mixer. I reached out to him. Yep.
Yeah, he became a client of mine. I did one of his last projects. We did a builder's risk policy. He
That's awesome.
stages every house he sells, and that's an investor that is sharing with those who are out there how important that is, because it's a product. He's an investor. He's not the real estate agent, but he's an investor. He's putting his own money out there so he can help sell his product. That's very key, because selling or using postcards or flyers and all that stuff doesn't work usually anymore. You could probably disperse it every once in a while, but if you're not on social media and educating and promoting on, you're not going to get anything. Lead generation is not taught. That's why we're always sharing information with real estate agents to help them grow, because they don't have that assistance when they're getting their license.
And following your framework of creating strategic relationships with people. Like, since we've met, you've referred a substantial amount of people my way, and vice versa. And I feel that could be a key. That's another element that I've seen with a lot of these top producers that I've done work with, where their focus is not just real estate and not just traditional marketing. Like, anything that you can do to create an additional stream or funnel where people are sending you leads and et cetera, or you set up incentives. Like, that's what I feel one of the big issues is that, like, even though I'm not a realtor, I went to real estate school so I could better understand how, what realtors learn and what is taught, and if there's like a gap or et cetera, where I can fill a space. And when I went, all you are taught is by the book real estate. That's it. You are not taught how to build, grow, and run a business. So that, to me, that stood out substantially, because if you're a realtor, you're making money based off of commission. So you're not getting a salary or anything like that. So there's no stability. So you are in business for yourself, unless your office is giving you leads, which I have heard of some situations where it's like the top producing agent or whatever, like they get first come first serve for certain things, but for the most part, it's either you're spending the time in the office you're on the phones or et cetera. But I feel that a lot of agents need to really reevaluate the way in which they're doing things and just run it like a business, not as though if you are an agent, a part of a brokerage. Even though you have to be a part of a brokerage, think of it as you're 100% on your own. And you need to build your brand and value proposition and what makes you different and et cetera. And even though there are things that are provided to you by an office, and because I hear some agents where their pitch is not their own personal pitch. Their pitch is, I'm a part of this office and here's all the things that we could do for you and et cetera. Well, okay, well, then it sounds like I'm working with the office, not with the agent.
Right.
So I just feel put a heavy level of emphasis on you as an individual and your services and what you can do, and be consistent and showcase, whenever you have a sale, that you actually had a sale. And even if you're not on a level where you could be spending thousands of dollars a month doing marketing like some of these other people, if you're consistent and follow the steps like what you promote, Sean, of just constantly being on social media, providing helpful tips, dropping as much content and videos as you can about your industry, your services, and what you do, but also, just collaborating with people. Just go meet with a business and sit down and talk, And I feel if realtors start doing that a lot more often, that they can end up seeing better results in their business and the type of clients that they get. And also just in general, focusing on quality marketing and building their own brand and treating properties like a product, not like I have a budget, so I don't want to spend a lot of money. I'm worrying about the commission or et cetera.
Right. What made you get involved with doing, starting Cinema Flight? Were you into, in when you were younger, into doing photography and video, and you had a passion for it? Did you, that's what sparked the interest?
So I worked in the enterprise IT industry for a couple years. I dropped out of college and literally just made up a fake resume and started applying to these technology companies and got hired. And I worked for companies like Cisco, SanDisk, Apple, and basically creating enterprise level marketing campaigns web pages, landing pages, emails, video content, pitch decks, all this type of stuff for enterprise level companies. And then I ended up working for a startup here in New Jersey. It was called Whiptail. And basically, I was their marketing consultant. And the company was acquired by Cisco for $500 million. So I ended up walking away, with my part from helping out with creating their marketing pitch. And at that point, after having been part of like a few startups and companies and seeing how marketing plays a role in getting products sold or getting companies acquired, it just inspired me to start my own marketing agency and take what I was doing for these higher level companies and just introduce it to mom and pop shops and smaller businesses and kind of introduce them how they could be leveraging the tools that these enterprise companies use to automate their marketing processes and make their businesses efficient and so that they could grow quickly, and basically just take what I've learned from that and package it into my own agency where I can end up just providing these to businesses across New Jersey. And that's how it kind of began. And back then it was just me and my wife, but I ended up going to my old my old boss who I used to work for in Totowa, the guy who you met. You came to our store a few times. I basically used to work for him before I went to college. And then I came back one day and just said, hey, I have an idea, to start a marketing agency, and here's what I've been doing, and et cetera. Can I use some space in your store, and I'll partner with you. So basically, I never burn any bridges with people, even if
Right.
it was a past employer or et cetera. So I worked for him, didn't work for him for however many years, but then came back with this proposition. He was interested, and it allowed me to end up having a space in Totowa now where I could, market a storefront and an actual location to go meet with people instead of Panera's or et cetera.
Right.
So that's what allowed me to grow. And since then, now we've got, our location in Totowa. We have a location in Soho in New York. And we basically just service the tri-state area, providing the marketing services, and real estate happens to be a heavy vertical industry that we go after, but it's not the only thing that we do. We basically can work with any type of company that needs help with marketing.
No, it's all, you definitely are passionate. You know what you're doing. You've created the Connection Machine website for me, and we're still tweaking it. Yep, we're trying to make that better. We have some more things coming soon, and we actually have the real estate mixer on April 4th coming up at Public House 46. Definitely come, those who are watching on the replay as well. I think Matthew Victoria jumped on. My wife was just on. That's 6:30 to 9. Definitely someone, if you're involved in looking to grow your business, you definitely want to come by, have a free drink, some food, and as many connections as possible, because we've made lots of connections, and it's all about having those conversations and getting to know others so that you can help them. Everyone, you want to be a solution provider. So every time you speak with someone, you can find out, it might be, for me, insurance is what I want, but if I can get somebody for, building a website, or someone needs a roof, or someone needs a refinance, I have those connections to send those clients to vetted professionals. That's what's important to me.
Exactly. There's a lot of power in your network. And I mean, with what you're doing, is exactly what I've been trying to do over the past 8 years, is to try and build as many strategic relationships with other businesses as possible, because there's a lot of people that go to networking events, and you might bump into someone, give your little elevator pitch, realize they're not a fit, and then move on. Whereas I've changed my process of, even if someone doesn't have an immediate need in what I do, I learn about what they do and then try to figure out, well, how can, even though they don't need my service, how could maybe one of their customers have a need, or they work with a similar demographic of people, where maybe if they just throw in one extra sentence in their pitch, maybe they'll identify something. And over the years, I've just created relationships with people where if they refer work, they know that they're going to be getting a commission or et cetera. And it's just a win-win, because you're already conducting your business as you would, and if you come across someone where you see a fit for what we do, because now you're briefed on the marketing services and et cetera, it's just a very simple, here's a referral, here's a recommendation, you could use them or don't use them. And I give a coupon code incentive, so it adds an incentive when you give the offer, and then it tracks it to you. So if someone does sign up, I know it came from whoever. But there's a lot of people that don't create those types of connections, or they'll be at a networking event, and if it's not a fit, they move on to the next one to just try and find a lead. Whereas I feel you should be going after leads, but also going after as many other people that are in business as possible to know who you are, have that network, because there's a lot of value in having a big network of people that you don't even need to have a sales team if you've got a bunch of good people who know who you are and trust you, and they're just sending work and referring you and talking about you.
No, that's it, man. I know it's getting late. I know we have our families we have to get back to.
I got my 2-year-old is crying in the background.
Yeah,
Yes.
I got mine crying. My newborn at 11, almost 12 weeks, man. Time's flying. But yeah, we definitely have to get to our families. But how do they get in contact with you? I have the link in the actual title of the Facebook Live. If someone wants to jump on and take a look at the website and things that you do, how do they get in contact with you as far as calling? Do you want to give out a cell phone, office phone, whatever you want to give as far as contact?
Sure, yeah. If you go to the website, all of our contact information is on the link. If you go to cinemaflight.com, or if you go to Sean's custom link. Also, if you want to give me a call, our business line, it forwards directly to my cell phone. So you could call 973-650-0513, or you could text the number. And I'm always available, or someone on my team is available. And I mean, if you're a realtor and you're looking to schedule a shoot, just try to give us at least like a 48 hours heads up, and then we can be available to do whatever it is that you need.
It's awesome, man.
And also, we've got on Cinema Flight, if you click on Sean's link, we have a coupon code for 20% off right now for both of our packages, so that helps save you some money.
It's awesome. Value. I appreciate you, man, that we're able to get together tonight, and we'll be in touch
I'll
the next
see you at
couple
the
days.
event.
We'll have the event, and I'll talk to you soon, my man.
Sounds like a plan. You have a great rest of your night, Sean.
You too, Chris. Thanks, man. Talk to you later.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.